Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for clicking on today's video. I have got a bit of an odd one today. So I am going to re-watch one of my review videos. So the reason I wanted to do this is because I'm going to be honest, I really don't have that much going on in my life at the moment. So it is kind of hard to do video content and stuff for you guys. So this bag, the Lady Dior Ultra Matte in all black, and I have been getting quite a number of messages and comments being like, hey, can you give an update? Can you let us know what's been going on? I'm going to re-watch my video from a year ago, and yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm just going to re-watch my video, let you guys know whether it still applies, or whether there's updated information, and if I have any new thoughts on the bag. Oh, before we begin actually, please, if you don't subscribe to me on Instagram, if you don't follow me on Instagram, please do go and give me a subscribe. I will chuck my Instagram handle on the screen. It's just basically a little bit of a more direct and personal way of getting in touch with me. Sometimes I kind of overlook my YouTube comments just because, you know, YouTube is on the computer and I don't get email notifications or anything, so it is a bit hard to kind of keep track. If you follow me on Instagram or even Facebook, actually, just send me a message. You know, if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm always happy to help. I always want to kind of give back to you guys. So yeah, if you don't follow me on Instagram, please definitely go and do that. I have had quite a number of people reach out to me and I am always so happy to help you guys. I am actually going to stop rambling now and I'm going to hit play on this video. Let's get started. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, showing you the bag, so at least you've got some eye candy to look at while I'm droning on. Yup, this is the bag. Okay, let's just skip through this. Clearly I ramble on a lot. There is also a strap in here, so I actually keep this bag stuffed. I keep all my bags stuffed, so I'm going to take the stuffing out so I can show you the inside. That strap is really good to use. It's incredibly comfortable. No problems in terms of digging into my shoulders. The length is amazing. There is no complaints about the length at all. Oh my god, that is dirty. Anyways, so the strap, really comfortable. The length is good. I can wear it crossbody and I'm like 1.80 m. Crossbody works perfectly for me, or one shoulder also works perfectly for me. But the issue that I have with the strap, there is no dedicated D-ring. So what you really have to do is you've got to clip the strap on the actual like ring for the handles. And so what happens then is it actually like distorts the bag. When you wear it, if your bag is heavy, what I've noticed is it actually pulls the bag like that. Or it pulls it the other way like that. Essentially my message is that it distorts the bag. That issue with the straps where it kind of distorts and warps my bag actually makes me use the strap very little. The last time I remember clearly using my strap like a lot was when I went to China in 2019. Because obviously I was traveling and I didn't really want to be carrying my bag on the crook of my arm or in my hand. Yeah, warping the bag is just something to keep in mind. A lot of people don't think about it, but it's just something for you to yeah, keep in mind if you're thinking about getting this bag. And not overstuffing it, not making it too heavy. There's actually so much history with the bag. We can skip that. The name of the bag comes from the fact that Princess Diana was actually given, but this is all very rigid. It keeps its shape very, very well. And yes, so 2 years later, in terms of that point about keeping its shape, you can see that it is still keeping its shape. There is not a single shaping issue that I have had with this bag. And it has been more than 2 years. So I got this bag in May 2019 or April 2019, and it is now October 2021. So it's been 1 year and 6 months, exactly 1 year and 6 months. Sorry, 2 years and 6 months. So 30 months. Cool, that was quick math. And look at this. The bag is just still in perfect shape. I just wanted to raise that point. Like sick. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the pros. Lift this flap and it's just one massive hole. Yes, 100% yes. So those of you that are familiar with Dior will probably know that the Lady Dior have been two versions. One version is this one, which is the one with the flap, and this is actually the newer version. But the original Lady Dior, that actually came in a zipper. It had a little charm on the end as a zipper pull, and it had a zipper across the top. That I think that got a lot of complaints. With the zipper opening, you could never get the bag open to its fullest. And so it made accessing the bag and accessing what was inside, putting things in, taking things out, it made it really difficult for people. The flap, however, is really good because, as you can see, it covers the bag completely. Very safe, 100% coverage. And when you open it, it's really easy to open. You just pull this flap open and that's it. So to this day, 2 years later, do I still find the flap as a pro? 100% yes. The flap is still a big time favorite feature for me. It's very soft, but it's very durable. Now, yes, I'll get to that in just 2 seconds, but I wanted to say yes, 2 years later, I still 100% agree it is secure. And I have taken this bag like everywhere. I've taken this bag on a plane, you know, stuffed underneath the plane seat in front of me. I've had this in a car when I'm driving in a front seat and I've like braked suddenly and it falls over like that. Nothing tips out. I've had nothing spill. So it's very secure. See, the bag has not got any scuffs. It's got minor wear and tear. Still, 2 years later, the bag has held up really well. Holding it up to the camera now, not a full-on close-up, but you can still see with the light shining on it, there is no scratches at all on the bag. I will show you something in a second, but let me just go through the wear and tear as at 2019 and let's see 2 years later what's happened to the bag. And so it doesn't really dig into your arm, it's really comfortable. Now on top, 100%. So 2 years later, I still agree. The handles, as surprising as it is, because like I said in that video, you look at this and you're like, this is a really thin handle. So it can't really be comfortable, surely. Like, it would dig into your arm or dig into your hand because it's so thin. It's like cutting it. But for some strange reason, I do not feel that at all. When I am holding this, it is so comfortable. Yes, 2 year update, still 100% on the handles. One big hole. We've covered that. The space in the bag is absolutely amazing. So 2 years later, I can confirm that I still, I have used the bag and I plan on using the bag for work. I do fit umbrellas on rainy days, my lunchbox. I do have a small lunchbox, not a full one, but a small one, because I am on like a diet. So it is really spacious. I can fit so much. I can fit my full Continental wallet, you know, one of those big ones. My keys, keys, wallet, lunchbox, umbrella, all that can go in there. And there's no issues at all. Another thing I wanted to mention is the rigidness. The shape of the bag is kept really well, but the rigidness of the bag, it's like knocking on wood. Like, it's so good. And one of the key benefits, which I did mention in my old video, is that you don't have to worry about the bag, at least in the middle, sagging. I mentioned this in my Chanel unboxing. where I had to separately buy a base shaper, which is like a rigid piece of leather, so that it's rigid and it stops the bag from basically sagging downwards. It's got the base and the rigidness, which protects the bag completely. This thin, your bag is now taking up this much space, which means someone is going to walk here and knock into it. Your coffee table? Yes, 100% yes. So unfortunately, like 2 years later, I have had that happen like 3 more times. I was actually in that specific scenario not like 4 months ago. And in like 4 months, it's like, whoa, that's a long time. But like I've been in lockdown for 3 of them. So yeah, 4 months is not that long. But I was at a coffee shop and that exact thing happened. I put my bag next to me on my chair on the ground. The handles flopped downwards. And then the waiter came and gave us our coffee and kicked the bag as he like stepped forward towards the coffee table next to me. And thankfully he only knocked the handles. He didn't kick my actual bag, but he did kick the handles, and it was because the handles were jutting out like this. Thankfully nothing spilled, nothing was broken, but oh my god, it was an experience. So yes, please guys, if you are kind of like thinking about this bag, or you're wanting to buy this bag, or if you already have this bag, keep that in mind. A lot of people don't think about that, but that is actually a really important thing to keep in mind, because you don't want people kicking your bag. So that hasn't really gone away. I've just tried to wipe it, but I haven't. Might try that a little bit later. And there's also some... Okay, so the scuff or the scuffs that you saw there, which I thought was food oil, is, I think, still food oil, but 2 years later, it's actually still there. I'll just show you now because I don't want to pull the camera away too much. But yeah, you can see that. So it is still there, right there. Honestly, guys, 2 years later, I'm really not bothered by it. I barely even notice it. I honestly, if it wasn't for this video, I wouldn't even have noticed it. So it doesn't really bother me. Let's check out what the next scuff is. Okay, so the smile scuff marks are still there. 2 years later, have they deepened? No, they have not deepened at all. But that's because I've stopped using the strap. I've almost exclusively used this bag just with the top handles. I don't use the strap anymore. So that could be why it hasn't deepened, but that is definitely something you want to keep in mind, guys. It will create a smile mark here when you're using the top handle. If you've got the if you've got the strap attached and you're using the top handle, the strap will swing from side to side as you move your bag, and the buckle on the strap is what's going to cause this scraping. So I've shown you in that video, but let me show you guys again. You guys might not be able to see it so clearly. You probably can right there. So along here, you can see the scuff marks on the bag. Now, the other thing is there's also the mark on here. Again, 2 years later, it has not deepened, and that's because I haven't used a strap. Marks here. And yeah, so I go into detail about the scuffs and about the scratches in the video. So if you guys want like a fuller explanation, definitely go check out the original review. No mark there, chafing. Okay, so on the back, it's still the same thing. The scuff marks are there. Actually, I feel like the puffiness of the leather has improved. I think it's pushed the scuff marks upwards, and so the dent is not as deep, but the scuff marks in terms of the scraping on the metal and also on the leather here, it's still there. Unfortunately, it's a permanent mark. I'm not going to be able to get rid of it. So Definitely something to keep in mind. So it's basically the top layer, the black coating, the black paint rubbing off and showing the stainless steel underneath, the metal, the silver metal underneath. And yeah, there's nothing you can do about that. You can probably paint it over again, but unfortunately, that's a permanent mark. You can probably take it back to Dior to get it fixed, but my recommendation is to just not use the shoulder strap. And if you use it, you are going to damage it. The thing is though, if you damage the bag, for some people I think that's fine. I am actually one of those people. I don't mind the damage because for me I actually think it gives it character. It's what makes the bag mine, you know. It's like your grandparents giving you a vintage bag or a vintage watch or something, and it's used, it's scuffed, it's got, you know, a history, it's got a story. It's your grandparents, you know, or your parents. It's like so much more special. So yeah, I don't mind it having scuffs. You might though, so definitely please keep that in mind. If you're thinking about this bag or if you already have this bag, please be careful about using the strap. On the leather, which is obviously as a result of rubbing against my clothes. Okay, so the corner update, again, 2 years down the track, corners are still in perfect condition. There is none of the paint has rubbed off. None of the corners have any scuffs on them. There's not a single scratch, not a single scuff mark on any of the corners, which is surprising because on any handbag, the corners are the first to go. Whereas this one, corners, all 4 of them, perfect condition, not a single mark whatsoever. Now on the inside, not much, nothing really. And looking at the flap, because I actually spilt food oil on here and it all cleaned up very, very well. Yep, 100% still the flap is in perfect condition. There is a bit of wrinkling on the flap, but that's to be expected. I can show you though a close-up of it to show you the extent. You can see the wrinkling and the marking here. Not a huge deal. Honestly, the smallest thing ever. I'm not worried about it. Doesn't bother me. Another thing I wanted to mention, one last thing for wear and tear, is do you notice these, so there's scuff marks here. Yeah, and then the oil that I'm talking about in the old video, that's still there. So I explained in that video, but I took this to a food market and I had it on my shoulder and the crossbody and I was eating and I spilt food oil on it. Obviously I cleaned it up, but I think that food oil broke down the matte coating of the hardware because the hardware shouldn't actually be shiny, it should be matte. But this 4 of these rings are actually shiny and I think it's because I pulled the matte coating off when I cleaned the food oil. So that is probably my fault. I can't confirm for certain, but that's something that you should probably be aware of if you're looking to buy this bag. Just be careful with oils and food because especially with the ultra matte, there is a special coating on top that gives it the matte effect. And if you are not careful with your oils, your food, your makeup, moisturizer, or whatever, you could take that top layer off. I'm sitting half an arm's length away and I can't see anything wrong with the bag. Yeah, 100%. Again, I am same distance, half an arm's length away. And apart from the shiny metal, because I've got a light shining on the bag right now, but apart from that, all of those, not even the smiley scuff here, not even the scratch along here, which on the close-up looks like a really deep scratch, right? But keep in mind, it's very small. That's a macro shot. Overall, when you're looking at the bag, you can't see it. I can't see a single thing wrong. I cannot see, You know, the scuff marks that are supposed to be here, even at this distance, I cannot see it. You know, if it's just on your shelf and you're just admiring it, you're not gonna see it. So this bag, 2.5 years later, is still in almost perfect condition. It's kept up really, really well. And that's the conclusion. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, overall, 2 years later from this video, nothing's changed. I can confidently say nothing has changed. None of the scuffs have gotten bigger. None of the scratches have gotten bigger. Are there more scratches? No, it's still the same scuff marks. And again, keeping in mind those scuff marks and scratches were because I used the shoulder strap and also because I took it to China. I took it on an overseas holiday where I had to subject this bag to being chucked around everywhere. Security guards sometimes had to like throw it from the x-ray machine onto a tray for me to collect, you know, like that kind of treatment. It was abused. Since then, I have been a lady and I've treated it very well, and nothing, absolutely nothing new in terms of wear and tear since that video 2 years ago. So for those of you who are looking at this bag and are worried about durability, don't worry about any of that stuff. So with that, hopefully you guys have found this updated review useful and helpful. If you have any questions, again, follow me on Instagram, send me a DM, send me a message and let me know. I'm going to sign off and I'm going to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.